Let's have a chat about your first frost date. Welcome back to Chatting with Chintzy. I'm Chintzy Parado. It is hotter than Satan's armpit out here, and that only means one thing. Frost date is quickly approaching. Now, it's August here. Well, that means it's August where you are too. But anyway, it's August, and you know, the growing season is primarily winding to a screeching halt. But not entirely. You still have time to plant your fall crops. But one thing that's going to affect those is the first frost date that's quickly approaching. We are going to discuss what a frost date actually is, you know, why it should matter to you, and some other factors to consider. So let's get this party started. What is a frost date, you ask? Well, a frost date is a statistical average over a 30-year period of when the weather is likely to drop below 32 degrees, which is freezing, or 0 degrees Celsius for my foreign viewers. I want to take a second to thank you, my viewers and subscribers. They're slowly trickling in, and that's okay, because you know how you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So, if whether you're from the US or you're from outside the US, which is a large percentage of my viewers, surprisingly, I want to say thanks. And don't forget, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Helps us make more content. Enough of that, the bills are paid. Let's get back to work. There are actually different types of freezes in order to... The heck? According to climatologists or meteorologists, there are different types of freezes. There is a freeze, which basically is from 32 down to about 28. Now that's enough to kill, you know, soft-tissued plants, so to speak. Basically your vegetable garden. And then there's a hard freeze. And basically what that is anything below that. Now that will kill woody stems. You think, well, why don't my fruit trees and everything die? Those actually need chill hours, and that's a little bit different kind of plant. But anything below 28 will basically kill off everything in your garden. Now, some plants are a little more cold tolerant, or cold-blooded, as I like to say, than others, but, you know, basically anything with a hard freeze is going to finish off any vegetation you have. Well, Chintzy, I got my garden going. Why do I care when a frost date is? Well, a frost date's going to tell you when your summer garden is coming to an end. So anything you need to harvest, you better do it before that frost date. Literally the day before, or you'll come out and everything will be like you put it in your freezer and took it out and thawed it out. It's going to be mushy and ugh. Plus, not to mention, a freeze date will also let you know when to plant your fall vegetables, and specifically what kind of vegetable plants to plant for fall. Which brings me to specifically which kind of plants can you plant for your fall vegetable garden. Because again, even though it's getting cold, we ain't done yet. Specifically, you're going to want to stick with brassicas. Now what that is mainly like leafy kind of greens, to include broccoli, spinach, a southern favorite, collard greens, kale, cabbage, and root vegetables. For example, radish, carrots, and I'm going to go on a rant here, beets. Ugh. You'll have to give me a minute to deal with the beets. Beets taste like a mouthful of dirt. I don't know how anybody can eat that stuff. It comes from the same lineage as the Neanderthal and people who like pineapple on their pizza. Now, while I may have some Neanderthal in my genetics, if you can't tell, no beets for this guy. Would you like a glass of orange juice with your toothpaste? What I do is I go to Old Farmer's Almanac. Now what I'll do is post the site down here. Okay, hopefully you got that. But I will post the site there. Now what you do is you go on that site and you punch in your zip code, and it will tell you roughly when your first frost date is. That site has all kinds of amazing things about what to plant in your area, when to plant it, how to care for it, so on and so forth. If you don't have a clue how to garden and you don't want to listen to me, go to Old Farmer's Almanac. Now you will notice on the frost date predictor, so to speak, it will give you a set of dates. You know, basically mine is from November 1st to November 20th. Now what that means is you have a statistical percent chance of having a frost date on that first date. Usually starts at like 10 to 20% and will go up to about 80% within that span. So November 1st, I have a chance of having a frost date. It'll go up to November 20th, which is most likely it will already have frosted by that point. Look on the back of your seed packets before you plant. So I'm going to take the example of spinach, which takes roughly 45 days from seed to harvest. So I'm going to mark on the calendar when my first frost date is. That's going to be November 1st. Potentially, that's the first frost date. Always assume it's going to happen by that date. Don't ever think you're going to outsmart nature, because it ain't going to happen, dude. We're going to take that first frost date, November 1st, and we're going to count back the days to harvest, which can be found on the back of the seed packet, and it is 45 days. So, count 45 days back from November 1st, puts us at September 17th. So you need to have that seed planted by September 17th, because you're going to get a frost date most probably by November 1st. Let's assume you will, worst case scenario. Now, specifically spinach and the plants I listed earlier, these are cold tolerant, so a light frost is not going to hurt them, you know, but a hard freeze will. So that's how you use the frost date to determine when to plant and what to plant. I already mentioned the plants that you want to plant for this time, because those are all cold tolerant, cold-blooded plants. They can handle the cold. They cannot handle a hard freeze, but they can handle a frost, and in fact, they actually get better. Let me explain. But basically what happens is the plant has starches inside which convert to sugars and makes the plant actually sweeter. It's kind of like a natural antifreeze in the plant. It literally does that. And if you can taste it on, you know, the day before versus after a frost, you will notice that your lettuce, your spinach, your carrots, any of those vegetables I mentioned will actually taste better. The summer plants, your zucchinis, your squashes, your tomatoes, no, that frost will kill those plants. So stick with the plants I mentioned. A little frost won't hurt them, and it'll actually make them better. I'm going to touch real quick on the microclimates. Well, what does that mean? That sounds like some kind of woo-woo phrase. Well, no, what it is basically, if you've ever been, you know, driven in a car, or you ride a motorcycle and you go down into kind of a ravine, a lower area, you'll notice that it gets cooler. It's like, man, you drop in elevation, you'll notice 5-10 degrees cooler. Well, microclimates are just like that. If you live in a valley, you know, it's much more likely to get a lot colder and a lot quicker. So you could live just outside the valley a couple miles away and your garden's fine. But if you live in that valley, you got to freeze and all your vegetables just died because you didn't harvest the day before. That's a microclimate. So pay attention to that. So when you read the, the frost date, you have to put it in context of where you live. What we've covered on today's episode of Chatting with Chintzy is frost dates, why they matter, why it's important, and what you need to do about it. And also what you can plant during the fall that won't get wiped out by a frost date. And just like those fall crops, we were created on purpose for a purpose. Be your purpose. Until next time on Chatting with Chintzy, I'm Chintzy Barato. Out.